Argus made us from stone to protect Girdlegard. Against orcs, ogres, and all the other beasts of Tion. We are the guardians of Girdlegard. We are the children of the divine smith. We are the Dwarves.
Hey there guys, TKC here. First go at the Dwarves.
All right! Does that? Come here, you! On the way! All right! And again!
Nothing actually good, but
Here,
I'm not
you! Charge! That's that! And stay dead! And again! Charge! And stay dead! That's that! Ha! Landling! A present from the workshop! That's that! Ah! I'd be happy to pass on this present to the greenskins. On the way! And again! That's that! And stay there! And again! Charge! And stay there!
there's no thing to do really.
That's that! And stay dead! There are too many of them! And again! Not possible right now! Understood! Alright! Come here, you! Understood! On the way!
Whoa. Epic.
What is it? All right! Charge! And again! On the way! All right! And stay dead!
So you got knockouts and you've got tasers.
Understood! On the way! Come here, you! And stay dead! Gwendolyn! A present from the world. All right! On the way! Ah! I'd be happy to pass on this present to the greenskins.
Regions.
All right! That's that. Charge! And stay dead! Come here, you! And again! Charge! Come here, you! On the way! Charge! All right! Understood! I could do with your help! Come here, you! There are too many of them! That's that! On the way!
The hell?
My king! What are you doing here?
Giselbert Eye, the father of the Fifthling clan, has not been on the front line of battle against the creatures of Tion for many cycles. The king surveys the battlefield and the defenders with a grave expression.
We are too few.
This you know as well as he does. But there will be no reinforcements arriving. Hundreds of brave warriors lie inside the fortress dying. The illness is running rampant. It brings weakness and death.
Stay at your posts. Be as steadfast as the granite of which we are made. Nothing can break us. Vrakas is with us. Hammer time! Another one gone! Yes?
Yes? Yes? And stay dead!
Yes?
All right!
You can turn the camera on.
On the way!
Over there! On my way!
What is it? Understood!
Yes? Another one gone! Over there!
Exactly, so
Yes? And again!
What? Hammer time!
What is it?
Yes? For Fracas! there!
What is it?
Yes?
Yes? And again.
What? Yes? On my way!
And stay there.
Oh, green moves
That's
too.
that. What is it?
Another one gone!
And again. Yes?
Hammer time! What? On my way! Be off with you!
What is it?
Yes? Hammer time! Over there! Another one gone!
On the way! Understood!
Be off with you!
And stay there!
Another one gone!
What is it?
Be off with you! Yes? On my way!
Yes? That's that?
Hammer time!
These are the ones who attacked us in the tunnels. We suffered great losses beating them back.
Come here and I'll split you like a straw, you treacherous elf!
In his fury, the old king radiates a ferocious power that none of Citalia's children could withstand. But the slight, willowy being sitting astride the shadow mare just grins down, mockingly.
You are mistaken. We are Alpha. We are here to destroy the elves.
All peace-loving beings here in Girdlegard are under our protection, and you cannot open the gate that has barred your path into Girdlegard since the creation of the world.
Not us, but perhaps one of your kind.
This cannot be. Silence, you fool! Vrakas, forgive me for what I am about to do.
Quickly! In formation! You must hold them back until I close the gate!
Huh? Come here, you! And again! Charge! Ha! Ah! And stay dead! Ha! Charge! And stay dead! Come here, you! That's that? All right! Come here, you! And stay dead! On my way! And again! Understood! All right!
So, what?
Look at me. I am Syntheras, the Reaper of your death. I will take your life, and the land will take your soul.
Get out of my sight, pointy ears, and let me delight at the closed gate a little longer.
The gate may have closed, but when you rise again from the dead by the power of the land, you will be one of us, and you will open it.
Never! My soul belongs to Rakas.
No, your soul now belongs to the land, and henceforth you will belong to it forever. Now die, and return. Then hand us Girdlegard.
You're a perfectionist, Tungdil Bolafar.
I've got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork of a dwarf, what can you rely on? What can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Yonan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay. I'd better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
Where's the
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you.
Jolison, a 4th degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
I should speak to Lot Yonan first. He doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Be nice if there was a key that turned the camera.
Tungdil! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting, and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load, and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry. Here, hold this.
With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh, no, this doesn't look good.
you're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
I'll get you back for this, groundling! You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
Do you know what Lot Yonan wants?
The maid gives you an amused look. She has often accused you of making things more complicated than necessary.
Master Lot Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure.
Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Varakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Yonan.
300-mile journey. And 300 back.
You're about to dive headlong into your adventure, but then stop yourself.
A journey over 300 miles without provisions and a weapon. I shouldn't forget to think in all my excitement.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore, and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood. This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you to watch Lot Yonan's old smith at work. Whenever the workshop was empty, you practiced and quickly mastered the craft with ease.
So how do I make my weapon? Okay. No shield.
If I hurry, I might be back in time for Sonia's birthday.
You're longing to see her face when you give her your homemade present.
I wonder if dwarves ask Vrakas for help on long journeys.
The figure on the homemade altar doesn't answer.
Hey, what are you doing, groundling? We're still eating here. Why don't you go and get your own portion?
The goulash is bubbling in the cauldron. You draw the warm air in through your nose, and the smell makes your mouth start watering.
There's some weird pathing.
Just as you reach the door, your stomach rumbles. It's not even noon yet, and you think you're going to survive a 300-mile journey without provisions.
Maybe I do need to talk to her. Obviously didn't pilfer much food.
Vegetables, bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
Hello, Frala.
Hmm?
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
I'm going to Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in Amagus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewelry in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said. But you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I have to go. I've got a long journey ahead of me.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger on your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
Auto heal off food. Okay.
How nice to see you again, Lot-Yonan. It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No. I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, and as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
So the wizard's right behind me.
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps. The time spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak. You reach a small lake by a birchwood. Your feet hurt and your eyes still sting in the unaccustomed sunlight. but a smile spreads across your face nonetheless. You've covered a decent distance on the first day of your big journey. You pitch your camp and lie down to sleep on the hard forest floor. When you awake in the morning, your legs are stiff and achy. Trying not to feel sorry for yourself, you throw your rucksack over your shoulder. You're a dwarf, and dwarves don't complain. Around midday, with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass. When you see the blood on the ground, you try to convince yourself it's from an animal that just happened to be killed on the road by a hunter. You know this is improbable, and your hope disappears completely when you see two human bodies lying in the flattened grass. You don't see any signs of a struggle in the area where the corpses are lying. Were they stabbed by a companion? A stranger could hardly have crept up on them with such sparse cover. You scour the area once more and ask yourself what to do next. You're sorry that you don't have time to bury the dead, but the sun will be setting soon. You continue your way to put a few miles between you and your grisly find before night falls. As the gable end of a small farmhouse and a barn appear from behind a hilltop, you hear the loud cries of children at play. A girl runs along the path laughing, followed by a small boy with a big stick in his hand. The boy is trying to catch up his sister with a determined look on his face, but is finding it difficult to keep his short legs under control on the uneven path. You look down on a large village on the banks of the Warder. Some of the village is built on stilts in the river. A wooden bridge spans the fast-flowing water. A huge wooden palisade has been erected to protect the village from attack. Your eyes roam the land on the other side of the river. You estimate that you will soon have completed half of the journey to Blacksaddle, but you still can't make out the mountain on the horizon. The guards on the palisade are watching you. Their armor looks well cared for and well made. The smith who made them knew what he was doing. You conclude that the men depend on the protection the armor offers and aren't just wearing them to look good. They're certainly not villagers. The double gate is made of strong planks, sturdy but still much less solid than the fixed parts of the palisade. Security has been forgone here for practical reasons. Never a good idea when building fortifications.
Orc skulls?
You're not sure it's wise to taunt the beasts with the severed heads of their fellow kind. Some of the guards begin to whisper as you near the gate.
Hello up there!
What brings you to fair good water? And have you seen any orcs on your travels, groundling?
The man leaning over the palisade eyes you up and down carefully.
Goodwater is well known for its hospitality.
A fact that you've just made up yourself.
Let me in, and I will tell other travellers all about it.
I regret to inform you that we cannot allow you to enter. The gates stayed closed once night has fallen.
There is certainly no regret showing in the man's face.
I'm a blacksmith and a dwarf. Let me tell you, your gate might look solid, but it won't withstand a real orc assault.
The murmuring all around him makes the man pause for a moment. If anyone else had criticized the stronghold, they'd have been laughed down and shooed away. But no one understands defense systems like the dwarves.
A dwarf blacksmith who just happens to be standing in front of our gate?
I'm a skilled craftsman, and I'm sure I can improve this gate for you. I'm a dwarf, and I know of the dwarven art of building from books.
A bookworm? You're going to strengthen our gate with papier-mâché?
I'm sure papier-mâché would help, but that's not what I...
You stop mid-sentence. The mocking expression on the mercenary's face tells you that a white lie would have worked better. You'll have to try something else. The orc heads on the spears look fresh, a fact that causes you unease for more than one reason.
Those won't scare orcs away.
I hope not. The more orc heads that end up on those spears, the more gold coins that end up in our pockets. Right, boys? Yeah! That's right! Yeah! We've killed our fair share of orcs and know how to motivate them. Those ugly mugs will spur them on, and then they'll perish in front of our gates.
Two things become clear to you. Firstly, that the mercenaries the villagers have hired are excellent at killing orcs, and secondly, that they sadly have no brains at all.
When did you kill these orcs?
Yesterday. We caught a couple of their scouts first. The others tried to take revenge in the evening. Let's see who'll turn up today.
Stay alert. If I see anything, I'll scream.
Is this to be your bed for the night? A flat, cold hollow under a bush? At least you wouldn't be discovered immediately. You hardly slept a wink during the night. The cold had you gripped to the bone.
Better to freeze than give orc archers an easy target.
An uneasy feeling has been your constant companion since you left Goodwater. Every little sound in the forest makes you fear you've been discovered by a horde of orcs. But you reach the end of the day without bumping into any of the greenskins. It seems as though Vracus has granted you one more day in Girdlegard. As night begins to fall, you pass a large oak tree and decide to call it a day. Near the oak tree is an abandoned camp with a fireplace, which appears to be a couple of days old. You take over the abandoned camp as your own. Whoever slept here before clearly left again without any problems. You see that as a good omen and lie down to sleep. You dream of orcs who creep up on you in the night, and even imagine you can smell the rancid fat of their armor. The stench gets stronger and makes you gag. You force your eyes open and look straight into the face of an orc who is holding a knife to your throat. Before you fully realize the hopelessness of your situation, you feel the blade cutting through your jugular. The last thing you see is a group of orcs baring their teeth coming towards you. Then everything turns black.
Holy shit. It's like a hardcore D&D roleplay.
An uneasy feeling as night begins to fall. You pass a large oak. You swing yourself up the trunk and then pull up your baggage after you. You're prepared to sleep in a tree like a bird if it means escaping the orcs' attentions. You sling your rope twice around your stomach and the trunk of the tree to stop you from falling accidentally. You close your eyes and dream. You see North Pass and smell the fresh, icy wind that sweeps over the peaks of Great Blade and Dragon's Tongue. But the harmony is interrupted by the hideous roar of an unending flood of orcs throwing itself unceasingly against the fortification. You smell the disgusting green blood of the orcs and taste the rancid fat of their armor on your tongue. The bitter taste becomes stronger until it's unbearable and wrenches you out of your dream. You open your eyes and are surprised at the brightness as a glance at the sky confirms that it's still night. Your eyes move towards the ground, and what you see makes the blood in your veins freeze.
I am Sinthras of Son Balsur. My master, Nod On the Doublefold, ruler of the perished land, has elected you, the lords of Taboribor, to be the sword that conquers the south.
You mean you want us to put our necks on the line and be killed by some magus?
Lord Yonan and the others will be taken care of. Your task is to create a diversion in the south until my master's plan succeeds.
And which of us is the leader?
The one that conquers the most land.
So Kragnar will be the new Grand Lord.
He glares at Ushnots and Bashkog.
The Kragnar shore tribe will conquer the most land. Never! We will overwhelm the cities of the Red Bloods quicker than you can suck the marrow from a bone.
We shall see.
You can't believe what you're hearing. If the beasts of Tion ride into battle together, catastrophic cycles lie ahead for Girdlegard. The night in the oak tree was the worst of your life. You spent every single moment afraid that you would be found and savaged by the orcs. But as the first rays of sun broke through the treetops, the orcs abandoned their camp and left without discovering you.
Better safe than sorry.
Your eyes scan the deserted camp, and you listen carefully for any noise. But you don't see or hear anything suspicious.
Ugh.
You're overcome by the urge to vomit. You have, of course, heard the stories, but seeing with your own eyes that orcs actually do eat humans is a long way from just reading about it.
This is the place. I knew it was here. Come on then, find that stupid necklace. Hey, Fuskar! In front of you! A grounding! Perfect for a spotted breakfast.
You know that you're no warrior, but you want to face the orcs as a child of the Divine Smith. Perhaps you'll manage to kill at least one of them, so as not to appear so undwarven in Varacus's eyes.
I'll give you something to chew on. Varacus made us of stone.
Oink, oink, little piggies! Hi, Barrow and Speared! How did you manage to lose your weapon? Go and get it, and this time, hold it tight! Hey, that one was mine!
You're just too slow, dear brother.
Too slow? Just wait! Yeah!
End it! I can't do that yet!
And what now? What is it?
They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here! Quickly!
What is it?
Understood.
I didn't hit you very hard.
At once.
And what now?
Yes. Yes. Huh?
I didn't hit you very hard.
They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here! Quickly! I need help over here! Quickly!
I didn't hit you very hard.
On my way. Understood.
Ow! Another one bites the
On my way.
dust.
Understood.
Attack! What is it? Easy! With pleasure.
Vile creature!
On my way!
As good as done!
Hey!
Yes? Huh? They're hitting me pretty hard!
Give me a hand!
I'm with you!
I need help over here! Quickly!
Of course! Yes, yes! Come here, you! Too easy! All right! Oh, what bad luck for you! Pow! Another one
On my
bites
way.
the dust!
End it!
Yeah!
For Varacus!
He hardly put up a fight!
I didn't hit you very hard!
Of course!
Yes? As good as done! On my way!
Ow! Hey!
With pleasure!
I have
Pow! Another
Give
one
me a
bites
hand.
the dust!
Yes, yes! I'm with you!
Come here, you! Ow! Hey! Oink oink! That's all? No more orcs? Well fought, young friend. Do you happen to be tongued ill? Well fought? But he fought like a... Boindale, what do you expect? He grew up amongst the humans.
Who are you, and how do you know my name?
My name is Boindal Hookhand of the clan of the Swinging Axes. This is my brother, Boindale Doubleblade. We've been sent to find you. Call me Ironheart. Are there any more piggy snouts around here?
There was a meeting last night. The Elfar serve a certain Nod On who calls himself Lord of the Perish Land. They have enlisted 3 orc hordes to cause unrest in the south.
Did you hear that, Boandal? Peggy snouts!
The Elfar from San Balzur and the orcs from Taboribor are working together?
And could ally with the orcs from the Perish Land.
The twins look at you solemnly. You all know what that would mean for the people of Girdlegard.
You turned up at just the right moment. But are you sure it's me you're looking for?
The High King Gundrabor sent us to fetch you and bring you to Ogre's death in the Secondling realm in the south.
So he received the letter from my master. And am I a secondling?
Well, something like that, I guess.
Then my family was found and the High King wants to bring me back to my clan.
No, you're not a secondling. You're a fourthling. And you're to...
The High King will tell you all about that once we get to Ogre's death. We should get going.
We've got to...
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. But it's our duty to get you to the Ogre's Death fortress in one piece.
I thought the duty of dwarves was to protect the innocent in Girdlegard.
Lot Yonan and King Broron will take care of the orcs. We 3 must be careful. You're not exactly a warrior.
But he has broad shoulders and broad hands. There's hope for him yet. So when you've got the chance to split a few orc skulls, you should take it.
I would be happy to follow you into the realm of the secondlings. In truth, there is nothing I would rather do. But first, I must travel to Blacksaddle and return some things to a former famulus of Lot Yonan.
Blacksaddle isn't exactly on our way.
It's on my way. We can head south as soon as I've carried out Lot Yonan's orders.
Well, he's certainly got the stubbornness of a dwarf. Perhaps we'll be able to make a real dwarf of him on the way.
All right, we'll accompany you. The sooner we find that famulus, the quicker we can get back to the mountains.
I'll have to send Lot Yonan a message by carrier pigeon on the way. And if we happen to stumble upon a couple of orcs...
I like you, but we'll have to find you another name. Bolafar. It's about as good as Lipsmith, Paddletosh, or Blufflegrump. It is stupid, senseless, and definitely not a name of honor. What are you good at?
I'm good at reading.
Reading? You're a scholar?
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall. You see a camp with a wagon and 2 people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Blacksaddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away. You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away.
Hello, friends. Is there any space by your fire?
The 2 traders look up and visibly jump when they see you 3 dwarves.
Ah, hello. Yes, of course.
It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness, but you take up their offer and sit down. The twins follow your example.
We're only travelers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Blacksaddle. A hermit.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
If they live here, they must be mad.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed, and we must have driven them too hard.
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the campfire, you all decide to sleep. But you take the first watch. It's a night in which nothing happens, and the next morning the traders set off early. After breakfast, you also continue on your journey. After a march through the thick pine forest, Black Saddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your journey's destination rises up before you.
Are you sure that the Famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way. An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment. There we go. Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Oh. Phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it. Definitely a rock face. Here's a... No, forget it. There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh?
Hello?
think there's some kind of puzzle.
Master Garen! Lot Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Oh, great.
So, Scholar, what are the results of your inquiries?
There is an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and I think it belonged to the Thirdlings.
Boindill's eyes narrow.
The blasted dwarf killers!
A Thirdling fortress? Here? In the middle of Girdlegard? We must let High King Gundrabur know about this.
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death until I have completed my quest. Goren is in Greenglade.
Huh.
A Thirdling fortress? Here, in the heart of Girdlegard. That's strange, isn't it?
And worrying. But they've always been wily. They move in the shadows and kill there too if they can. Do you know their story?
I've read about it. Lorenberg, their progenitor, rejected the name that Vrakas gave him, who in turn did not give him any special talent, so his kingdom studied war.
It helps them defending the East, but it also meant they ended up confronting the other kingdoms. No dwarf would ever even think of injuring one of his kind, never mind killing them. But the dwarf killers are proud of it. When they were even more powerful, they wanted to become the rulers of all dwarves. They are envious of our skills. They haven't been heard of for a long time, but you can be sure there isn't a single dwarf alive who doesn't hate them.
The High King? Why do you want to bring me to him?
All right then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the king of the Fourthlings, is with his entourage in Ogre's death and is supposed to ascend the throne.
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening. He fears that Gandagar wishes to instigate a war against the elves.
But what have I got to do with that?
Boindill is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side from his brother.
High King Gundrabur will explain everything when the time comes.
You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindill has donned an innocent expression, and Boendal doesn't give you the impression that he has anything else to say on the matter.
Whatever, your High King must wait. I have a quest to carry out in Greenglade.
But our quest is...
Boindil raises a placatory hand and throws his rucksack onto his back in preparation.
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him. He has made his decision, and you will not be able to change his stubborn dwarven mind.
You can't help but smile. While taking a rest, you see a cart trundling along the road not far away from you. A young couple are sitting on the box seat, clearly in love, and more in... The sight reminds you of a long, unanswered question.
So, I was wondering, what do female dwarfs look like?
Very pretty.
Uh-huh.
You were expecting a little more information.
Do they have beards?
No, I would say it's more like fluff. Oh, very attractive.
And what do they do? I mean, are they warriors too?
In our kingdom, most take care of domestic life. They take the animals down to the meadows and the valleys, make sure the larder are full and that there's plenty of good beer, and make our clothes.
It only ever causes problems when men and women stand shoulder to shoulder in battle.
Some of them are talented stonemasons and smiths, and beware of insulting their skills. They are no less proud than we are.
By the evening campfire, Boindil rummages around in his rucksack and pulls out a cheese wrapped in a cloth. He sticks a fist-sized piece on a spit and grills it on the fire.
There's nothing better than grilled cheese at the end of a long day.
The smell it gives off makes you hold your breath.
Oh, it smells like my socks after weeks of marching in my boots.
Oh, picky, are you? Hardly surprising, considering you were brought up by humans. It's ruined your taste.
Boindil holds the stinky cheese at the end of the stick under your nose.
Eat, and stop complaining.
You pull the warm piece of cheese from the stick. It tastes dreadful. Your fingers will smell of it for the next few days, and probably your mouth will too.
That was weird.
You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
By Vracus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Garen.
You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression. Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves lived together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away. The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while a sea of flames must have raged in a circle around him. The robes remind you of those of Lot-Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic, makes you quite sure that this is Garen.
Goren had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books. The circumstances seem grave enough for you to break the seal.
Greetings, Toga. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so, at least. Yours faithfully, Goren. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Varakas only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land. The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little detail is painstakingly and precisely reflected. Trees, the remains of buildings, bodies. You hesitate.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin, and the red paint seems more than suspicious now.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now, but here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust.
Okay, so I've obviously not done what it wants me to do.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us.
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Lueth Buanre!
What's happening? That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back.
Attack!
Huh?
What is it? Huzzah!
Huh?
Yes? And what now? What is it? What is it?
Yes?
Too easy! Huh? And what now? Yes?
Huh? For Vracus!
What is it?
Yes?
And what now? What is it? Say goodbye forever. Huh? Yes?
Huh?
Attack!
Kill!
Huh?
Uh-huh.
I didn't hit you very hard.
Understood. End it!
What is it? Yes? Oh, what bad luck for you! He hardly put up a fight. And what now? Huzzah! Huh?
Yes? For Vracus!
Yes? Say goodbye forever. Huh? Yes? Oh, what bad luck for you! What now? Huh? What is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah!
They're hitting me pretty hard!
Yes? Who's next? Huh? I just need a little rest.
think I might have just killed my own dude.
Huh?
With pleasure. Bad luck for you. Yes?
Yes?
And what now?
Uh-huh. Attack!
What is it? What is it? Ha ha! Huh? Huh?
Yes? Uh-huh.
You. Yes? And what now? What is it?
Yes?
Huh? Say goodbye forever.
Attack!
Huh? And what now? Yeah. Yes? Huh? Another one bites the dust. What is it?
Yes?
Yeah. And what now?
He ought to be put up a fight.
Yes?
Uh-huh. End it!
What is it?
I need help over here! Quickly! Huh? At what?
Who's next? What is it? Huh?
He ought to
Put
put
up
up
you
a
very
fight.
hard. Too easy.
Kill!
Huh?
Yes?
Yeah.
Understood.
And what now? What is it? Huh? Another one bites the dust. Huh?
Uh-huh. At what?
What is it?
Yes? For Vracus!
I didn't hit you very hard.
On my way. End it! Vile creature!
Yeah! Huh? Too easy! What is it?
Huh? Please wait a moment.
Who's next? Attack! What is it? Huh? I didn't hit you very hard. Too easy. Huh? Yeah! He hardly put up a fight.
End it. Kill.
Huh? Yes? With pleasure. Who's next? And what now? Ha ha!
Huh? Attack!
Ha ha! Yeah! Who's next? I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? Ha ha!
Dwarves, you protected the glade.
She's alive.
The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn Magi only had one job!
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my home, and my forest. Everything has been taken from me. I beg you, have mercy and put an end to my suffering.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression. The dignity that she must once have radiated can only be imagined in her current state. Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power, and yours.
We need the Magi. They must rebuild the barrier. We must go to Lot before the Perish Land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who can tell? Anything could go wrong with all that hocus-pocus.
It had held back the Perish Land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the Great Magi. I can't imagine how Nodon or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the Outer Lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it.
It's an interesting game. There's no turning this map.
Every evening since you left Greenglade, however, did Garen... What the heck? Garen is dead. A piercing, bone-splitting sound rings out, and small spheres of light shoot into the air, ending in colourful explosions.
By Fracas' hammer and all the fires of his forge!
The twins jump up immediately and draw their weapons. You curse, and
by the mountains of Girdle...
I just wanted to examine the magical trap. It's for thieves, in case someone tries to steal the pouch.
You try to act normally, so that they don't realize. Boindale looks at the pouch with animosity.
Magical frippery.
Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel... You consider your options, but before you have reached a decision, the dagger is pressed more tightly against you. Feverishly search for an answer. You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Boindale unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought.
Can't catch these traders. Oh, there we go.
A colourful trader's wagon drawn by two stocky horses is coming towards you. A small man is sitting on the box seat, and as soon as he sees you, the wagon slows down. As it draws to a stop next to you, you realise that the driver isn't human. He's a dwarf.
Greetings, my friends. All too rarely does one meet wayfaring dwarves around here. You can call me Mort.
Greetings, Mort. I am Tungdil. This is Boindale and Boendal.
You are happy to meet another dwarf, and such a friendly and eloquent one at that.
Wayfaring dwarves may not be common, but a travelling dwarf trader? Now that really is weird.
Then you see what great luck it is that we've met like this. Come, have a look at my wares. I'm sure you'll find something to make a dwarf's life a little sweeter. I'll make you a good price.
We must press on.
Mort smiles.
The feeling is mutual, Tungdil.
You shouldn't be so trusting.
The wagon is no more than a few yards away when Boindale looks at you reproachfully.
A dwarf who lives alone among humans for years on end and disowns his kingdom? Don't you know what that means?
He's an outcast, Tungdil. His kingdom and his clan have banished him. It's a severe punishment, only dealt out for serious offences.
The twins enter into a long discussion about what crime the trader may have committed, and go on to teach you the basics of dwarven law. As dramatic as their accounts may be, you didn't have the impression that You arrive at a crossroads with a tavern on. You enter the tavern with a determined stride. You walk to the nearest empty table with the twins in tow and sit down. You hear surly muttering from one of the tables.
What are groundlings doing showing their faces here?
I wouldn't mind a pint of ale.
The landlord nods and takes the twins' order too. Shortly after, he returns with your beers and puts them down in front of you.
We're tired and long from...
Of course, gentlemen.
You spend a restful night in the tavern. Once you reach the top of the hill above Goodwater, you can see what is left of the village. The sea of red roof tiles has given way to a forest of burnt black ruins.
Why are the Magus' vaults here in the middle of nowhere?
It's to do with the magical fields that spread out under Girdlegard.
And that's why he lives in the vaults? To be closer to the underground
No, it's more to do with security. 200 students of magic and well, a source of almost unlimited magical energy. The Magus thought that an underground vault was a more suitable place to train than Master Nudin's tower in the middle of Parista.
I don't like it here. All this hocus-pocus is bad news. Us dwarves know that and keep well away, just as Vracus commanded.
I cannot perform magic, and I've never attempted to. Nevertheless, please show respect. Remember that it was Lot Yonan who took me in and saved me.
Now then, it would seem that the tongue of the learned one becomes somewhat haughtier, and his sentences doth wind most strangely as we verily approach the vaults.
You can't help but grin guiltily. With a beseeching glance at the twins, you step into the area in front of the vaults. Seeing no one there you might greet, you and your companions enter your old home through the open gate.
Who the hell built this tunnel?
Bowendahl examines the crumbling roof with a mixture of disbelief and indignation.
Be quiet. I want to surprise them.
Is that such a good idea? What if we give your master such a shock that he casts a spell on us?
It is unusually quiet in the vaults, but the smell of dinner is in the air.
That's no reason to go and get ourselves turned into something weird.
Lumps of meat rise up and appear on the brown, bubbling surface of the soup before sinking back down out of sight. The hearty smell makes your mouth water.
A human foot?
Your stomach turns, and you have to fight hard against the impulse to run out of the kitchen screaming.
Only Longuns will build like this. Oh, the Tungdil.
You don't want to bother them with your gruesome find until you know what's happened here.
No, not yet.
You look around the workshop with growing panic. No one to be seen.
What happened here? Speak!
Ah, another one.
Don't even think of using magic, or I'll lodge this pretty piece of steel in your brain.
It takes the Famulus a few seconds to comprehend the situation he's suddenly found himself in. He seems to weigh up his options for a moment before he breathes out and the tension leaves his body.
All right, I won't use magic.
Lot Yonan, where is he?
Nodon killed him. He killed all of them in Parista. There's no one left in Girdlegard who can take on the last Magus.
You're saying that someone took on all 6 of the Magi at once and defeated them? Ridiculous.
5 Magi. My master Nudin is Nodon the Doublefold, the lord of the perished land and soon to be lord of Girdlegard. He killed the masters, and the apprentices followed soon after. they're all gone. And he changed the magic field so that only we can use them.
An icy hand grabs your heart. It's impossible that there's only a single Magus left, and he's not fighting against, but for the Perish Land.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
For a while, the Famulus seems to be playing with the idea of being stubborn. Bowendahl pushes a little harder on the end of the crow's beak, and the tip penetrates the skin. Blood seeps out.
They're gone. Dead.
A school full of magi destroyed without any signs of struggle? Lies.
The facts seem stacked against it, but you cling on to this faint hope.
Lot Yonan's Famuli were already in Parista. There were only novices left. We made easy work of them. The Elfar, Syntharas, he insisted on being part of the raid after he found out that you grew up here. He opened the gates and killed most of those here before they even knew what was happening.
In your mind's eye, you see a pale face appearing from the darkness. You saw what Elfar are capable of in Greenglade. You push the thought to the back of your mind and try to keep a clear head.
Why are you snooping around in Lot Yonan's study? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for artifacts that Lot Yonan, when he was in Parista, claimed he had forgotten and left in a cupboard. And for the books that were stolen from Greenglade. I'm guessing you're the dwarves that stole the books.
What does your master want with the artifacts and the books?
I don't know. He commands, we obey. He's going to be very displeased. I did find a bag in the cupboard, but it didn't contain the right objects.
I've had enough of your lies. They're alive. Lot Yonan escaped and has gathered his apprentices, Frala, and the others around him to fight against Nodon. We just have to find them.
The war was over before you even noticed it had begun. Nodon cannot be stopped. He is on his way here and will just...
Blah, blah. We will leave immediately. This news is of great importance to the Council of Dwarves.
I'm not going anywhere. I have to find my friends, and I...
Orcs! Lots of them!
Yes?
Understood. Yes! What is it? Come here, you! Huh? Oh, what bad luck for you!
For Brachus!
Who's next? Huh? Yes?
Yes? Understood.
Yeah! Huh? As good as done. He hardly put up a fight. Say goodbye forever. And what now?
Huh?
What is it? With pleasure. Too easy. Yes? On my way. Yes. What is it? As good as done. Huh? I'm with you.
Yes? At once.
Yeah! Huh? What is it? Yes? On my way! Huh? Huzzah! Huh? What is it?
Huh? On my way.
And what now?
course!
Uh-huh. At once.
Yeah! Yes?
Yes?
Yeah! Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Wild creature. Uh-huh.
Yeah! Huh?
Huh?
Yeah! I didn't hit you very hard. Huh? I wake up. Another one bites the dust. Yes?
Too many
put
of
up
them.
a fight.
The side door in the workshop. It's our only chance. Yes?
And what now? Yeah! What is it?
Huh? Understood.
Yes?
As good as done. And again.
Huh? I'll be ready soon. And what now?
Uh-huh. At once. On my way.
Yeah! Yes? All right. Huh?
Yes?
Yeah!
Uh-huh.
On my way!
As good as done.
Fire, you! Bad luck for you! Huh? And what now? On my way!
It's not that many levels, is it?
Damn.
The first 20 are mine! You have come far, but this is far enough. Give me the artifacts and the books you stole in Greenglade, and I'll set you free.
What's with the artifacts and the books?
They belong to me. Lotionen was supposed to bring them to Porista, but forgot them. So, I came to pick them up. That's all you need to know.
You wanting my rucksack is enough reason for me not to give it to you.
I don't need your consent. Look after the rucksack. If you lose it, you will also lose your life.
What have you done to the other Magi? Your famulus told us some cock and bull story about you forcing them and their famuli to go to Parista and then murdering them.
I did what had to be done to protect Girdlegard. I wish there had been another way. But they would never have understood.
Do your eyes deceive you, or do you really see a brief moment of real regret on the swollen face of the Magus?
Go back to your realm, dwarves, and let your king know that I need his land. Either he hands it over without a drop of blood being spilt, or my troops and allies take it by force. You can take this one with you. I have no use for him.
Invisible wizard, Maya!
Look!
Let me handle her. Kill the dwarves!
The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him!
And again!
And what now?
Huh?
What is it? Who's next?
Huh?
Huh? Another one bites the dust.
Yes?
Yes?
Huh?
Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. What is it?
Uh-huh. End it!
What is it? Say goodbye forever. Oh, what bad luck for you! Now? Too easy.
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Yes?
Yeah! What is it? Yes? Huh? Come here, you! They hit me pretty hard! They put up a fight! And what now? I've got the rucksack.
Let's get out of here. Over the bridge.
What is it? Too easy!
Yes?
Huh?
Huh? Understood. Attack!
As good as done! On my way! As good as done! On my way! And what now? What is it? All right. On my way!
No chance.
As good as done! What is it?
Huh? Vavracus!
Yes? All right. On my way! Say goodbye forever! Huh? Another one bites the dust! Yeah! Huh? What is it? Of course! As good as done. Oh, what bad luck for you!
Let's get out of here!
Retreat? We should fight on!
We would die! Perhaps you've noticed that Nodon has risen again, headless. He is more powerful than the Perish Land itself, but the key to his destruction is in here.
We will return to the Secondlings and tell them what the Magus is up to. We'll be safe at Ogre's Death, and there we can hatch a plan.
If we manage to get there. Nodon will do anything to stop us.
Then let him try! That was...
We are both very sorry.
He told me, Synthra, I convinced myself that...
You...
Ha! That's what I call a goodly challenge. Cover me.
Not a good idea if you want to go on living, dwarf.
You've got quite a big mouth for someone who sounds like a girl.
You are Andikai, the Tempestuous, right?
Correct. And you're Tungdil, Lot Yonan's charge.
Honorable Maga, what news of Lot Yonan? Does he live?
Andikai looks at you in silence. Pain and rage slowly spreading across her face.
He is dead, Tungdil. Along with Myra, Turga, and Sabora. Nod-On killed them all, and destroyed the Council of Magi.
The certainty of their death is painful. It feels as though someone has just torn your insides out.
He killed their best pupils, too. And now he's the unchallenged Magus in Girdlegard.
It was you, wasn't it, that attacked them with the lightning? Were you any more successful than we were?
Andakai shakes her head.
He defied everything I threw at him. All of my skills. In vain. I soon realized he was superior to me, but I wanted to buy you some time.
Nodon's famula said that he had changed the magical fields, but you still seem to be able to use them.
Andakai smiles.
I'm not quite as benevolent as the other magi. My god Samusin is the god of balance. He loves the darkness as much as the light, which means I can use both. But my powers aren't unlimited. It is difficult for me to store and use this altered magic. We should avoid confrontation as much as possible.
Your companion, won't he sit with us and introduce himself?
Yes! Hey, you up there! Can you even hear us with that bucket on your head?
Jeroen is mute, and he won't do you any harm unless I command him to. And as long as you treat him with courtesy, dwarf.
Boindil seems to briefly weigh up his chances against the two of them.
I decide when I'm courteous. Just don't get in my way. And the orcs are mine!
What happened? How could he defeat the Council of Magi?
Nudin called us to Parista, under the guise of reinforcing the barrier against the perished land. Instead, he tricked us, took control of most of our powers and attacked us. I cut him down with my sword, but he rose again and impaled me with his staff. All I can remember after that is the sound of fighting, destruction, and cries of death.
How did you survive?
Jeroen. Nudin had forgotten he was with me in Parista. He found me, tended to my wounds and brought me out of the city to safety until I could summon up enough power to heal myself.
And Lot Yonan?
When Jeroen carried me away, he was frozen in stone, like a statue. To my knowledge, the spell cannot be reversed.
You nod slowly. You don't have the strength to say anything else right now.
What will you do now?
Leave this place. I'm not so foolish as to believe that I could restrain the perished land or nod on. Why should I stay here?
Foolish, no! But cowardly!
You're on your way to the kingdom of the Secondlings, right? Then I will accompany you and leave Girdlegard by the High Pass.
We'll need all the help we can get. Nodon will have a lot worse in store for us than just orcs.
The Maga nods in agreement. Then she looks pensively at your rucksack.
Your rucksack? Why did Nodon want it?
I was taking some objects to Goren, one of Lot Yonan's famuli. He was murdered at Greenglade by an elf. There were books lying next to his body which he was planning to send to Turga the Fair-Faced.
May I see them?
You nod. Take the books out of your rucksack and hand them to her. She goes through the letter and the books, one after another, without showing any sign of emotion. Finally, she closes the last of the books.
Is that all? They are only sagas and travelogues from the Outer Lands, which tell of legendary creatures and myths. I don't know why they should be of interest to Nodon.
There must be something in them that's important to him. He destroyed a whole village for them, and the vaults.
Possibly. I'll study the books. But let's sleep now. Jeroen can keep watch. We are still being followed.
The path leads you through a ravine, whose steep walls are mainly made up of loose boulders and scree. You could probably cause a rockfall that would block your pursuer's path and obstruct your way back. It takes longer than you would have liked to trigger a rockfall that is big enough, but when the dust settles, you realize that you have been rewarded for your troubles. The path is blocked. In the afternoon, with the sun low in the sky, the path leads you through a ravine. A glance at your map suggests that you're near to Boribor, the Orc realm.
Fracas, may we remain unscathed.
About a mile further on, Boindil suddenly stops in his tracks and sniffs.
Can you smell? Let's proceed with caution. Perhaps we can take a few of them out before they raise the alarm.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes! On my way!
On my way! We have to stop them before they can warn anyone.
Of course!
What is it?
Huh? Yes?
Huh? Huh? For Fracas!
Huh?
Vile creature!
Say goodbye forever!
Yes? At once.
He actually put up a fight!
Yeah! Yes? Oh, what bad luck for you! What is it?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Huh?
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Huh? Come here, you!
Huh? Understood.
Too easy!
End it!
He hardly put up a fight!
Yeah!
And what now?
Huzzah! Huh? As good as done! Ah! All right! On my way! With pleasure!
Huh?
What is it? Ha ha! Yes, yes! Of course!
I didn't hit you very hard!
I'm with you!
And what?
I'm almost done.
Let's go.
On my way.
Let's go.
On my way.
What is it?
Yes?
Yes?
And again.
Huh?
Huh?
Ow! Another one bites the dust.
Huh?
Yes? Save it.
Yes?
What is it? And what now?
What is it? Oh, what bad luck for you! All right. Huh?
What is it?
Huh?
Attack! And what now? I'm with you.
Vile creature! Ow! Another one bites the dust.
Of course!
I didn't hit you very hard. Easy.
Who's next?
Huh?
Yes?
What is it?
Huh?
And what now?
What is it?
As good as done.
Ha ha! With pleasure. I didn't hit you very hard.
End it.
Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Yes, yes! He hardly put up a fight! Ha ha! what now? Yes?
Huh?
Huh? Say goodbye forever!
Yes? At once. Attack! And again. Huh? Understood.
What is it?
On my way!
On my way.
Yes.
On my way!
On my way, go.
That's good.
Come here, you.
Out
On my way, go.
Bad luck for you! On my way!
Of course.
Say goodbye forever!
And what now?
Yes? For Vracus!
Yeah!
Yes? Oh, what bad luck for you next!
What is it? Ha ha!
I didn't hit you very hard!
Huh?
On my way!
As well as
Yes.
done.
On my way, go.
As well as
Yes.
done.
On my way!
As
Yes,
good as
yes.
done.
On my
go.
way!
As
Yes,
good
yes.
as done.
Of course.
On my way!
As good as done.
We should go down into the caves and vaults. There'll be more of them down there.
Or maybe we should concentrate on finally getting to Ogre's Death Stronghold, Boindil.
You have put out a plate of food for the night every evening since Jeroen and Andakai joined you on your journey, but still none of you have seen him eat. You decide to pay. Andakai is sitting not far from the giant, studying the books. She looks up at you.
You think I will stay and fight if there is a spell in the books that might defeat Nodon?
Yours is the god of balance. Don't you see it as your duty to create a balance between light and dark?
Instead of answering, Andakai rubs her eyes and closes the books.
It's too dark to study. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Disgruntled, you watch the Mager as she walks over to her bed for the night. Your eyes fall upon Jeroen and the plate at his feet, on which not a crumb of food is left. You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday sun, you're not sure whether it might not just be a mirage. But the twins are convinced that there is a village here, and the prospect of a roof over your heads for the night keeps you going. The nearer you get to the oasis, the more the uneasy feeling grows that something's not right. It's too quiet.
This whole thing is probably a trap. We should...
Welcome to Pasnar. I'm sure the citizens would greet you themselves, if they could.
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sintheras.
So we meet again, Tungdil. What do you think of my work in the vaults? It was a nice start, wasn't it?
An eerie smile sets on Sintheras's lips.
Wonderful. I can see the hatred in your eyes. Come on. Come and get your revenge.
Now you've got me interested.
Yes?
On my way. Go. And what now?
Uh-huh.
This is going to hurt.
Yes?
Now you've got me interested. I didn't even take off my gloves. Feel my power!
Huh? Attack! Yes?
Retreat! Back! Why are you here? And how can you possibly still use magic?
The one person your master left living is the one you would least like to have as an enemy. Go on, little Alf. Flee.
Your magic saved you this time. But next time, I'll be prepared.
I've had enough of fighting. It's about time we head to your home.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert ahead of us before we can enjoy a cold beer.
The longer we talk about it, the later we'll get to our beer. Let's go.
You've been traveling through the desert for days. The sand is simply everywhere. In your shoes, under your clothes, in your mouths. Even the makeshift cloths that you've wrapped around your heads is of little help. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's Death. It is as if you've passed through an invisible wall when the raging wind and sand suddenly falls silent. In front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress, which nestles in the spurs of the mountain. Even from this distance it looks impressive, with its 4 defensive terraces, one above the other. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step, and you feel the power returning to your limbs. You've almost done it.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well... Before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagard, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendelin's gaze falls, as if incidentally, on the King of the Fourthlings' advisor.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears in the shafts of the Grey Range.
Impossible!
I always knew it!
Treason! I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it!
To the pointy ears!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes, and even with the Thirdlings, if we are to defeat the perished land.
My High King, you cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King? We have waited long enough.
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your bed, please pay the High King and I a visit in the throne room. Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the assembly to order has drained away from him. His body is sunken in the throne, but his eyes are alert and interested as he looks at you.
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vracus. Tell us what you learned on your journey.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. From time to time they nod, as though they were already aware of certain facts. Their brows become more furrowed with every passing minute. When you are finished with your story, you also have some questions.
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know anything about our customs and laws. Everything that I know, I have learned from books that Lot Yonan gave me. There must be more suitable heirs than me.
Your announcement honors you. But to be honest, you never had a claim. To stop Gandagar, we had to stall for time.
Lot Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a fourthling.
The king's advisor misinterprets your unbelieving gaze and quickly adds,
We're only being as deceitful as goblins for one solitary reason: to stave off possible harm to our people.
You feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom, but Master Lot Yonan also didn't see it as necessary to inaugurate you in the conspiracy.
What game is being played here?
Gandagar, as king of the fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King, but his mind is poisoned with hatred towards the elves. He would probably win a war against them, but he would weaken us, and Girdlegard would not be helped by this. I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the thirdlings. I would have given anything to start the negotiations. In times of great need, only the common goal can count.
And which role have you planned for me?
Well, with you as a second aspirant, certain possibilities of protocol open up to us.
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were to line up, I couldn't win. No one on the council will vote for me.
You don't have to win.
Belendalin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously. He can then demand a duel or a contest in order to determine the winner.
Such a contest could take weeks, if not months, and it would win us some time.
What kind of contest would you have us compete in? Gandagar is surely superior to me in many things.
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper, and from them, the contest will be drawn.
And this only once you have made a speech, and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is towards you, the higher the chances of a contest that fits your abilities.
Speech? You're beginning to like this whole thing less and less.
Why is Gandagar so full of hatred towards the elves?
His father and brother were murdered by elves. At least that's what's claimed.
No one knows the truth. Just as no one knows how true this report about the Fifthlings is. But isn't it strange that this letter has turned up now, just when it can play into the hands of the elf-haters? Many dwarves' hatred towards the elves is great. Perhaps even greater than their honesty.
I understand why you want to prevent a High King Gandagar. He will be blind to our real problems.
Gandagar's only liability is that he lets Bislipper whisper dark thoughts in his ear. The advisor is the problem, not the king.
A problem that I am fortunate enough not to have.
The High King smiles weakly at his advisor.
Gandagar is a good dwarf and a good king, and I am certain he could also be a good High King if he was free of Bislepur's lies and false advice.
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from carrying out his plans, it could end in a fraternal war.
Don't worry. We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend. We just need time, and you must gain it for us.
All right then. I am ready to do it. But I will need all of your support.
You can be certain of it, Tungdil.
Belendalin smiles at you encouragingly.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon, and she suspects that the Magus is possessed by a demon from the outer lands. It may be possible to kill this demon with an axe called Keenfire. I have commissioned armor that is worthy of a prince. It will be delivered to your chamber by sunrise.
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate, but the prospect of having to make a speech in front of the large council doesn't exactly fill you with elation. The coal fire is lit when the kingdoms meet for council. It has lain dormant much too long, until it was finally lit again a few days ago.
Ah, Your Highness!
For the first time, you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such masterful masonry. To be honest, I didn't even know that stone could be worked in such a way.
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Vracus made us. Well, he made some of us into warriors, too.
Boandal glances at his brother, and he laughs with satisfaction while looking around the hall himself.
High King Gundr...
Old? He is ancient. Even by Dwarvish standards. He has been old for as long as I can remember.
Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. His mind is younger than all of ours, I tell ya.
Belendalin should become High King.
I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fighting spirit! We had to drag him off the battlefield.
The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves. And as the firstlings didn't turn up...
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come from either. But they only want to use me to delay Gandagar's coronation and ultimately prevent war with the elves.
Whatever happens, we will stand by your side, Scholar.
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much use in a contest with Gandagar, but it feels good not having to go through the whole thing on your own.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Maga took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from Barren Ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of Sigurdaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you manage to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
Do you know these Undergrounders?
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honourable Mager, for all that you have done. A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage. Mmm.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water. You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks. You undress and lie down. When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armor of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
What are you doing in here?
Ignoring your question, Bisleypur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our kingdom? A foundling brought up by a wizard? One wouldn't think it possible. And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar has the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace and just not turn up in front of the council? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need your whole life long. In exchange, you support Gandagar instead of challenging him.
Oh, you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000 cycles and makes the elves responsible for the fall of the Fiflings?
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful. And what could possibly be more suited to get one over on us than letting the perished land in and presenting us as the scapegoat?
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost eradicated.
I said they are deceitful, not wise.
You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly appeals to you. There are also several decorative elements made of stone to honor its origin in the kingdom of the best stonemasons. You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and is gone, when Bislipper interrupted you. Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts, but you like the idea that a bit of the metal you love is now part of you.
Not only is it worthy of a king and fits me like a glove, but he should also offer me additional protection in battle. That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Bolafar. The council may now ask questions.
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a fourthling. I do not believe there has ever been a more unworthy heir to the throne of the High King. You are just wasting our time.
It's true. I have nothing to present to you regarding my lineage that would eliminate all doubt. But is that really important? Shouldn't my deeds count for more than my lineage? Let me prove what I can achieve.
As long as he's capable.
Well, when you put it that way.
Lineage is important.
And if you aren't capable of anything?
Yes, the dwarf from the Secondling Kingdom over there.
You say that a war against the elves would be madness. But how can such a young dwarf as you judge that? You've hardly seen anything of the world, has he?
If we get drawn into a conflict against the elves, then we are no better than the Alfar who have fought with the elves for thousands of cycles.
He's right.
Well,
of course we're better than the Alfar.
Outrageous.
Yes? Your question?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book of fairy tales from the perished land to kill a demon that none of us has ever seen?
I have most definitely seen it. Goimgar, Yellow Belly, Shimmerbeard.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed. Many have died for the books in which it is written how Keenfire can be made, and the Magus did all he could to get his hands on the two halves made of Sigurd Daisy wood. Those are the facts, whether you like them or not. These problems won't solve themselves, so I ask you, is it the Dwarven way to step aside and do nothing, or is it our way to act?
To act?
We don't hide away.
If the humans won't stop the perished land, then we will.
We shouldn't get drawn in.
Let's show the Magus the strength of the Dwarves.
I have heard enough. The Council has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. Those of you who wish to see Tungdil Bolafar, the returning son from the Fourthling Kingdom, as my successor, raise your axe. And those who wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Fourthlings, as my successor. Gandagar has received more votes.
Very good. Ha
ha! Excellent!
Here's to Gandagar! Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
Respect! He is still the High King.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to forge the axe Keenfire in the Grey Range, which can then be used to fight against the Magus Nodon.
An expedition into the perished land?
Ha ha! Brilliant!
You can't be serious.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges, Bislapur draws this one.
Yes. Luck.
But, my king, don't demand this of me. Why me, of all people?
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him. It should be a fair contest. Or should I break my word just because of you?
But...
You will go, Goimgar Shimmerbeard. Do not put us to shame. Follow Tungdil's instructions. Go! And come back in good health.
And with that, our group is complete.
Who have you chosen as Mason?
Good day, gentlemen.
Bavragar? The old drunkard?
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best stonemason here. The High King himself sent him.
Well, I said I was precisely the stonemason you need. I didn't exactly say I was sent by the High King.
You let yourself be tricked by a drunkard.
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine better company. But Tungdil gave me his word.
Yes, I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of doing the stonework needed for Keenfire, you are welcome. Girdlegard is at stake here.
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil, but also no good fortune. The throne belongs to me, and through my victory, Vracus will show the clans.
The task is clear to the contenders? The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his abilities and will be our new High King to lead us in battle against Nod-On.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey to the Fiflings alone is a long and dangerous business.
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you know the old tunnel system that connects the Dwarven kingdoms?
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so much quicker under the ground than over it?
A knowing smile plays on the mouth of the advisor.
Well...
Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
The kingdoms all work together. If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Hear, hear.
I still don't understand why you tricked me and why you were so set on coming with us.
I have been the Master of Stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdlegard. There has never been a better secondling mason than me. But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but as Bavragor Amethyst, undefeated Master of Stone who brought Keenfire to life. One last masterpiece.
I hope you understand me asking, but there seems to be bad blood between you and Boindil.
It's nothing that will endanger our mission. We've just always hated each other.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavragor doesn't react. His gaze is directed towards events that took place a long time ago.
You really should rein in your drinking. We need you in good shape.
There are some who say I'm only the master of beer and not the master of stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I can't forget, no matter how much I drink. I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandagar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm sure we'll reach the Fifling Kingdom before them.
We're not on the way to the Fiflings. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The Firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the Fiflings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Tionium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nod-On, and... Damn. Goimgar.
It burns! We won't get further this way, Scholar. What now?
It's all your fault, you imposter. I was nearly killed, and for what?
It is good that you are still alive. We need you for our mission.
So you can steal a throne that doesn't belong to you?
Hatred glints in the gem-cutter's eyes, and for a moment, you think he's going to attack you with the courage of desperation.
I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save Girdlegard. Even if you don't believe anything else, you must believe this.
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will. My own thoughts are my only remaining right.
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the Firstlings, we can get anything we're missing there. And it should be less than 200 miles to their stronghold.
After you have gathered together the materials, you begin to search for a way out. And after a sweaty climb, you reach a door adorned with runes. From here, you enter a large cave with a waterfall covering a sun-drenched opening. You walk through the waterfall one after another, and after the unintentional shower, you find yourselves in Wayan, near the enchanted realm of Oromira. You find yourselves on a plateau, and the river which falls as a waterfall here hides the entrance to the underground rail network. It then flows past a forest, behind which you can see a wall and tiled roofs. You check the map.
That must be Mithridalia. We'll go through the forest to the city and see if we can refresh our supplies and buy some ponies.
Boindil strikes up song during your hike. A short while later, Bavrigor joins in. But rather than actually singing along, he tries to outdo Boindil with his own songs. When he finally strikes up a love song, Boindil becomes absolutely livid. You take the stonemason to one side and ask him if he's doing it on purpose.
Of course I'm doing it on purpose. I'm gonna make him suffer the whole journey.
Can't go on like this. We can't fight amongst ourselves and save Girdlegard.
You take a short break before you dare breach the roots of the problem.
It's to do with a woman, right?
Not in the way you might think. Smeralda was my sister. A young thing of only 40 cycles.
Bavrigor takes a large swig of his liquor before he continues.
She was almost as belligerent as Boindil, and she got it into her blockhead to stand by him in battle. A bad decision.
You can see the pain he is suffering in his eyes. You place a hand on his shoulder and put him under no pressure to carry on. The constant bickering between Boindil and Bavrigor distracts you. Goimgar hears the clanking of armor first.
Something's coming!
Before you know it, the orcs are charging towards you over a hillside.
Uh-huh.
Of course!
Huh?
Prepare yourself!
End it!
What is it?
As good as done!
Say goodbye forever! What is it? What's up?
Yes?
Attack! And what now? Huh?
Oink, oink, little piggies! Easy!
Yes?
Yeah, he didn't hit you very hard. Huh? Oink, oink, little piggies! Vile creature. Yes?
Huh?
Yeah? What is it? A bit too much for you, was I?
Yes?
And what now? Yes? What's that? He won't The force! A bit too much for you, was I?
Huh?
What is it? Huh?
Huh?
What's up? Yes? And what now?
Huh?
Oink, oink, little piggies!
Kill!
Yeah!
For Brachus!
Huh? Huh? Oink, oink, little piggies! Disgusting. What is it? What is it?
Huh?
And what now? Oink, oink, little piggies!
Huh?
I didn't hit you very hard. Hmm? Taste my hammer! What is it? Oink, oink, little piggies! Yes?
Yes?
What is it? What's up? He won't laugh. He hardly put up a fight. Huh? Yes? Disgusting. Who's next?
Huh?
Yeah!
At once.
Vile creature!
Attack!
Hmm? Pow! Another one bites the dust. And what now? Taste my hammer! What is it? On my way! Oink, little piggies! First, Molly. Oh, what bad luck for you!
Yes? On my way.
Yeah!
End it!
And what now? Hmm?
Disgusting.
Huh? Attack!
Huh? Don't take it personally.
I didn't hit you very hard! Arr! Arr! All right.
Vile creature.
As good as done.
What is it?
Huh?
Yes,
go.
yes.
Yes?
Huh?
Huh? Arr!
Killed.
On my way!
Hmm?
Of course
not. Vile creature. What's up? He won't last
And
long.
what now? Yes, yes. Of course.
What is it? With pleasure.
And again. Huh?
I'm with you.
What's up? Prepare yourself. Vile creature.
And what now?
And again.
Yes?
Huh?
All right. Yes. What is it? Huzzah!
Yes?
Vile creature.
Oh, what bad
And
luck
what
for
now?
you!
Huh?
At once. He won't last long. Killed. A bit too much for you, was I?
What is it? Huh?
As good as done.
All right.
Yes.
As good as done.
Yeah? Let's go. Prepare yourself. Disgusting.
Huh?
Of course.
Huh?
On my way!
I'm with you.
On my way! On my way!
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
What is it?
As good as done. And again. A bit too much for you, was I?
With pleasure.
What's up? Of course.
Yes?
End it. Let's go. Taste my hammer.
Next.
Huh?
What's up?
Huh?
Yeah. What is it?
Come here, you. Yes?
Killed.
Too easy.
He hardly put up a fight.
What is it? Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Huh?
On my way. Bad luck for you. Too easy.
That was refreshing. Hey, here comes some more. 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6.
5 or 6? Oh, phew.
He means 5 or 600.
Goimgar turns white as a sheet.
That's too many. To the city. Come on.
Right, I think it's a good time to save it and get some sleep. Thank you for watching.